Hello everyone. For this tutorial video, I'd like to introduce you to the study of dynamics, which is a formal way of saying the study of motion with regards to what causes it. So the whys and hows of motion, as opposed to the simple what motion is. Newton's first law, known as the law of inertia, states that any type of object, even if it is 100% a gas, has what is known as mass, which is simply a measure of how much stuff there is, or molecules, are in an object. The law simply states that the mass is a measure of an object's inertia, which is a tendency of the object to resist changes in its velocity. Although the first law simply states what mass and inertia are, we can assume by this definition given that a greater mass object will have more inertia, so it will be harder to move compared to a less massive object. I have brought two water bottles with me, one whose insides are the air from the atmosphere, and the other whose insides are filled with water to the maximum volume. Pay close attention, as it may be hard to see the difference in acceleration between the two water bottles when I move them. With only the first water bottle, with only the second water bottle. You may also experiment by yourself to find that you will have to exert more force with your muscle, which you will feel, to move the water bottle with water in it, compared to the water bottle with no water. This brings us to Newton's second law of motion, which mathematically states that the force required to move an object equals its mass times the acceleration produced by the force. So this would mean a less forceful push, like with the tip of your finger, would produce less acceleration than a more forceful push, like if you whacked the water bottle. Finally, this brings us to Newton's third law of motion, which you may have heard summarized as every action has an equal and opposite reaction, but is more strictly defined by stating that if a solid object exerts a force on another solid object, the second object will exert an equal and opposite force, i.e. in the opposite direction, than the force from the first object. If you push down hard on a table, for example, you will notice the harder you push, the harder the table pushes back, which you feel mostly in your lower arm, as that is the part that is doing the most work closest to the table. These three laws govern everything about dynamics, from how sports are supposed to be played, to more everyday tasks like carrying groceries. In most physical situations here on Earth, forces can be divided into specific types, which is what I will introduce in the next tutorial video, starting with what weight versus normal force is, and how they often come in Newton's third law of pairs. Don't forget to subscribe if you found this video informative, and make sure to see other tutorial videos, and follow me on either Facebook or Twitter for more content.